Greetings, beloved. Welcome to my digital empire. This is the Mantra Woman Key. I changed my name because I am shifting from the old reality, the reality that once I had to. I'm beginning the new chapter of my life. So, to the new chapter of my life, the Mantra Woman is the right fit than the name that I had before. It's been a long time since I made a video. Really, like I don't have the right words, and it's just this morning I sat in a meditation and I had a very um, real realization um, about seeking validation and how everyone these days is seeking validation, or maybe it's something that's been around all the time, and now I'm becoming conscious of that. Also in my life, I was advised by a friend lately to create an account like Instagram account, and I did created that. And then like I there was like it didn't feel right for me like to have Facebook or like Instagram. But I was in the dark night of the soul lately. I was experiencing different levels of ego death. I was getting out of victimhood. I was processing shame and guilt, past hurt, especially after I met my twin flame, and these things have been coming on the surface to me because intense connections have the power to touch our demons inside, to touch our wounds, core wounds. So, I created that account and I was posting pictures, but I started like, like I had to pause and I had to ask my values, like, what my values are. What's the point of me posting these pictures and asking people to like to follow them, and having other people to follow me. Um, Even though I was a photographer in like a video artist, even though I was an artist, I mean, it didn't feel right that I was doing it on social media, call it old school, call it maybe like these things might even make other people feel like they are behind in life because they are not catching up with the technology of this time. And you know among your peers you might be isolated, like it's still seeking validation. Being on these platforms, social media platforms, is still seeking validation because if we don't have them, we would feel isolated. We would feel like we're not catching up with the world. We're behind in some way because we're not keeping ourselves updated. We're not hearing about everyone's lives, what they're doing, what they're pursuing, what they're after. And I'm sorry, I don't see it thriving. I don't see social media in general thriving in the new earth. And my way of using social media is to integrate it with my core values and to use it as a way of expressing myself and as a way of being relatable to others, so seeking validation, I was thinking about separation consciousness lately because you know i was I was on the next level of healing. Like I got to a point where I was facing all of my fears. I had a psychedelic experience also. On top of that, I had some spiritual experiences. I've been away for a month and a lot of things happened in my life. Now I feel so old, much older than my age, because things happen back to back. Like, um, it's a superpower sometimes to be able to still, like, carry yourself with some kind of grace despite life throwing at you things that touch you inside. And being honest helped me so much. I was honest about being jealous, I was honest about being competitive, I was honest about seeking validation. I still so somehow, some way, in Kigali, these are my last days in Kigali, by the way. I'm moving to the next place, which I'm not ready to disclose on social media, but I will shoot a video and I'll show you where that place is. So it's like it's my last days here in Kigali. I know it inside myself. I don't have the means to make it to the next place yet, but I'm sure, I know that intuitively I'm being prepared for the next place and it's about to happen. So here in Kigali, I think one of the things that I didn't like about it, and also besides the things that I loved about it, also there are things that I love about Kigali and Rwanda. Let's say, for example, how natural it is, and yeah, in terms of nature, it's rich. There are like trees and forests and clean roads and lakes, like lakes like Twin Lakes and Lake Kivu. I have experienced different places here in Kigali that I loved, but all in all, given the lifestyle and how the infrastructure of the city is wired, it's more of westernized than Africanized. I mean, I don't feel like necessarily that I'm in Africa, because like the people here, they strive for some level of greatness. It's more like the things that you see in Hollywood, or the things that you see in in Europe or in the States, like people, like even like the food, it's junk food, like I've been eating junk food, which I somehow regret, but I have to forgive myself because it's because I don't have a choice. In Ethiopia, we eat fresh things, the vegetables are everywhere. Here, if you want vegetables, you have to go to supermarket to buy them. Everything is calculated in terms of dollars and stuff like that. Life is a bit expensive. Expensive is a perception. I know that it's subjective. What's expensive for me might not be expensive for others, but in general, it doesn't make sense to me why I should invest much, like a lot of money on food, because I had it a lot easier in my life in Ethiopia. It's a very abundant place in terms of food. It's just everywhere, fresh food and stuff. So the people here, they are trying to keep up with the rest of the world, to keep up with Europeans and you know uh, Americans, and also like it could be Asians, Indians, but I don't see that African vibe. That African vibe. I don't mean to say poverty and stuff, but like that African culture vibe of um, the material vanity, like pursuing materialism and wanting to have stuff around you to feel better about yourself and stuff. That's not something that I would associate with being African. In Africa, if you are a meaning seeker, especially if you are someone who wants to go deeper within yourself, there are so many things to pay attention to. There are so many things to invest your energy and time on, than just material vanity. If you are someone working for just money, I mean, you are better off outside of Africa than in Africa. Africa, the land right now, especially because the earth is ascending to the 5D consciousness, it's kind of even put you in a situation where you want to be useful for the continent, where you want to be useful for the people, be in service to others. Have spoken to a lot of foreigners, especially in this month, because of the place that I'm staying in here in Kigali. It's like a place where travelers come and stay for a bit. So they were telling me, like in Africa, the one thing that they love is how easy it is to connect, to connect with humanity, to connect with nature. And I know what they mean, I know what they mean. So I see Africans, I see like Rwandese people and people from other parts of Africa also somehow seeking validation, somehow like having their businesses or artwork um, expressed in that way, in a way that they were seeking validation. And they give it to each other, that validation, and they are so productive than maybe than I am, and they are probably richer than I am, like richer, like they have it depends on your definition of success. If success to you is having the attention of many people, if success to you is being famous, or like having a bunch of money in your account, that could be it. Like, like I can say that these people are successful, but I couldn't be inspired by them because I'm a person of value. I'm always thinking about value. It has to go beyond me. And I think in terms of we and not an I. And also, it's because of my spiritual journey. Not everyone is destined to have a spiritual journey. Not everyone has to contribute to the greater good Not everyone has to be the bigger person, it's just my journey. So I accept everyone the way they are. But like when it comes to environment, I know how much it can affect us, honestly. I know how environment, what you are seeing, your view, your environment, and the people that you are dealing with somehow affect your consciousness on a greater scale. And that's why, I thought to myself, it's time for me to change, because I'm not following that route of becoming famous, or like having this all of this external success, yet not not serving anyone in the process, or not serving people in the most healthiest ways. If anything, I'm the mantra woman. If anything, I want to teach people meditation. I am a healer who's also healing herself at the moment. And I'm not receiving healing requests because I'm in a deep healing myself. But I know that's my future, It's so easy for me to connect to my future self. If anything, I believe the world needs to calm itself down because it's going crazy. Things are going crazy. There is war everywhere. I was very sad about the case in Ukraine, and if anything, we have to gather our minds. We have to pull ourselves together and meditate and reflect a bit. So I'm not with the people who are running. I would like to take things slow in my life. Being around nature, being around water helps me, and yeah. I'm thinking about documenting this wisdom, also writing about it, writing about my experiences with people in different places. So, it's all good. It's all good. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to seeking validation, the other thing is that like we seek instant gratification or happiness. Happiness is now a major thing. Everyone wants to be happy. Um, Yet, it doesn't end there. When you go down the rabbit hole, there are things that are far deeper than happiness. Things like peace, joy, acceptance. When you get there, it is what it is. When you get there, it's you is enough. It's just only you. It's just all the time. It was just only you. Separation consciousness is an illusion. So this is what I wanted to say. Really, like, I wasn't prepared for this video. I was just meditating and processing some childhood traumas of sexual abuse, shame, and guilt, because I'm touched in every corner by this person that I've met. And, I felt so connected to him. I saw myself in him, and I was not even looking out to be connected to someone or to be in a relationship. I was feeling lost pretty much, and I think I have not still been found, but it is what it is. It's not about happiness, it's not about success, it's about the inner journey, the journey that you have with yourself. And if anything, this path right now, at the moment, what I'm going through, it's teaching me how to be just on my own, and how to embrace my solitude even deeper, and to be that friend for myself, to love myself more. And yeah, it's just only you expressing itself in different ways. So seeking validation is basically pointless, because if you give the validation that you are seeking, if you give it to yourself, the whole world will catch up with you, will follow. And even if they don't, it doesn't matter. So the mantra woman right now is more of a nature type of person. I love being in nature, living with a minimal cost. I don't need much, especially the person that I'm connected to right now at the moment, my twin flame. He had taught me how to just live, how possible it is to live if you are not what do you call, like, putting your high standard on yourself and on your life. Like, survival is not an issue, and that's something that I have always known, but I don't know what I'm doing here in Kigali City. Because I'm a natural person, who wants to live in nature, who wants to do things like in ordinary sense, just I'm not even here to inspire anymore. I don't want to be the leader or on front, whatever, even though that's what I'm created for and that's my purpose. Right now, I'm more like, I just want to live my life, and people will notice. If they don't notice, it's still okay, It's for me, it's not for anyone else. So, if you are the person who is seeking validation, just understand yourself, it's something that we started in our childhood, because some of our parents, they demand more from us than they were giving to us. And there's a lot of pressure in society, there's a lot of pressure in our friendships and stuff. So I don't blame you for doing that. It's actually one of the major, I think, next to not enough, next to feeling unworthy, seeking validation is also actually connected to how worthy you feel. So it's some major thing. I had attended a festival like a week ago, and at the festival, I had a very wonderful spiritual experience of connecting with people from all over the world. And I was energetically open, so I was feeling this energy of not enough and seeking validation, but at the same time the energy of being wanting to be saved, wanting to come closer to the divine. People don't even know when they initiate spirituality within themselves. They will realize, even for myself, when I started awakening, like, I initiated it by myself, but I didn't even know that I was going down that road. It's just so, yeah, people are awakening one way or the other, whether they claim to be spiritual or not. People are awakening, and I'm so happy to be alive. Life can be sometimes, very, 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 very hard. It's hard, and everyone has their own realities, and we don't necessarily understand it. That's why, like, compassion helps me sometimes, because I put my feet in someone else's shoes, whether it fits me or not. And that gives me the insight of, like, being them. You wouldn't understand them until you become them. Even your enemy, the person that you point fingers on and say that that person is my enemy, you know, they have some kind of clash, fights, civil war within themselves, like Carl Jung would call it, within themselves, that brought them to that space of fighting with you. So I think I'm offering understand to the world as the way of offering understanding to myself, and I'm learning about compassion and love and how to become the mantra, the wild, natural Rasta woman living by the beach, writing a book, and like, just playing with kids. I want simple life. That's my liberation. That's my way of liberating myself from the standards of Western culture, the standards of this world of having Instagram, putting makeup on your face and just performing for 500 people because you want them to clap for you. Art has to be raw. I'm an artist, but I want it to be raw. I want it to come from my inner space. It's not because I want to broadcast it, I want to market it, but it's because that's who I am. And maybe, who knows, I will meet someone who has a publishing company and they might, like, offer me to, I don't know. It doesn't even have to be free. I might even invest on it myself. But, like, I want to create the same way that Alan Watts created. I want to create the same way that Picasso created. I want to create the same way some legendary people in history who created to create and then later on became who they were. So I don't care. I don't give a damn. Life humbled me in so many ways. Yet I'm learning about how powerful I can be, in the process. And especially, I have finally met my twin flame, and it was like I was looking into the stars. When I gazed into his eyes, it's like the stars were there, like, it was very magical connection. We're not in communication or we're not together or anything, but, like, it's just having that experience, I think, and also being triggered by that in a negative way, mostly because, like, everything that I had that's, like, against love, unconditional love, the walls that I built around myself, even without knowing it. Having this journey for 2 years, I didn't even know that I was fighting love in some way. feeling unworthy, which is connected to my sexual abuse history, and thinking that it was my fault that I was abused at that age. But like, forgiveness, it's still the same thing. I'm telling you the same thing that so many people have talked about. It's just the language that's different. Maybe I'm talking about forgiveness for African people are more relatable to them than the others, or maybe like African people, actually some of them, because I am a mirror, a universal mirror that shows them back to the possibility of owning themselves and feeling worthy, and you know somehow being useful to this world. They might even like be haters. um I'm a universal mirror. You can be from anywhere and you can still see myself, yourself in me or not, you know and that doesn't matter. What matters is I'm trying my best, you are trying your best, we are in the same gutter, except some of us are doing whatever it takes to get out of that place and to claim that the stars that once we were, to claim that the heroes that once we were. And if we were that person once upon a time, it means that it's also a possibility in this lifetime. I love you guys. um yeah, I'll be creating more and sharing more with you guys. Thank you so much for watching me, for sharing a piece of yourself with me. I love you so much. I'm sending a lot of compassion, a lot of healing your way. Have a great day. Rastafari.